Well, as we all know, it's never easy to budget for the holidays, and if you're trying to keep a limit, a few essential tips can help you from crying when those credit card statements come rolling in. Well, joining me now with a holiday survival guide is Jeffrey Schwartz. He's the Executive Director of Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. Wow, that's a mouthful. All right. Tell me a little, I'm awful throughout the year, but this time of year especially, those credit card bills seem to really pile on. But what can I do to make it hurt a little bit less?
Well, you want to stick to a few things. First and foremost, at Consolidated, we're all about budgeting, we're all about planning, we're all about lists, that sort of thing. So the first thing you're going to want to determine, really for the holidays, is how much do you have to spend for the holidays? Something, and put an amount in there that really that you can afford to pay off within 60 to 90 days after the holidays. That's where you start. The next part that you want to look at really is, okay, who's on your list? Who do you have to buy for? The mailman, maybe the garbage man, all your nieces and nephews, all those sorts of people, you want to list those people. And then you try and break down that total amount that you have into how much you want to spend for each person.
Okay, so it's pretty concise. You know what your budgeting is. I know we have some information that we're going to bring up. I don't know if it's a list or what. There we go. So you see this list ahead of us. So what is that? What is that exactly?
Well, essentially what we do is we create booklets, we create lists. It's all on our website, that sort of thing. But really it's meant to be easy to access for everybody who wants to create lists, who wants to budget for the holidays, to prevent what you talked about earlier, is to getting in over their head so they don't know what they're going to do come January when the bills come in. The sticker shock, the buyer's remorse, all that sort of things, because really you don't want to be paying for your holidays for the entire year until the next holiday season comes around.
Well, so it's really just about organization. It's like organizing your day, really, just making sure that everything's in check.
Exactly, exactly.
So when it comes to the credit card bills, is there a better way to be paying? Should we be paying cash? Is it credit? Like, obviously, you don't want to be paying interest on things, and like you're saying, you want to keep it as short term as possible. But what's the best way to go?
Well, the best way is really to spend what you have, and to use debit or cash, like you said, is absolutely the best way, because then there's going to be no surprises. What you have in your bank account is really what you can afford to spend. We're not all like that. In a lot of cases, we're living paycheck to paycheck. So we have to plan for these things and write them down so that come kind of January when the statements come in, we're not paying for these for the next several years. I mean, you work so hard to get a great deal. I mean, I just heard something on the way down here that and I'm sure this is an American stat, but they spent $6 billion online over the last 5 days. So from Monday to Friday, from Cyber Monday till Friday of last week, they spent $6 billion. That's a lot of money. They're probably getting some great deals when they do that, but then what happens is if you only pay the minimum on your credit card, you could be paying up to triple that amount when everything's said and done, if you're only paying the minimum on your credit card. So you want to pay off your credit card bills as quickly as possible. So you're right. If we could use cash, if we could use debit, that's the way to go. But if we're using our credit cards, we want to pay them off as soon as we possibly can.
So that great deal is not that great of a deal anymore then.
Absolutely, and that's the tough part.
When it comes to that, actually, and I've seen a lot of people doing this, and I'm always tempted to do it, and I'm sure everybody else, I'm sure you might be as well. You see that deal, right? So you see that TV online or from one of the big box stores that is cheaper online all of a sudden. And it's not the newest edition. It's not, the LED with I don't know what kind of, the 60-inch. But you want it because the price is really good. Should people avoid that?
Well, there's two things in what you said, and I love what you said because you use this word want. And there's a huge difference between needs and wants. If, for example, and again, these weren't really needs, but I mean, you want to fulfill your Christmas list or your holiday list for all the people that you want to buy gifts for, and let's look at those as needs for a second. But this is something outside that list. This is a want. This is not a must-have.
You don't need it.
And you really have to distinguish between what those must-haves are, because the impulse buying like that, and that's the other side of it, is that's what's going to get you into trouble.
Thank you, Jeffrey. We got to go. Thank you very much for watching First Look.